Hey everyone, I'm just dropping by here to thank you all for your immense support for GoGlobal 2021. The event was a huge success. We did not anticipate this much traction that we've gotten from all of you. It's your support and love that makes us do better in our future events as well. So yes, I'm here to thank you all for that. Also, we at SellerApp have always aimed to help you in your Amazon selling journey. So this event was just one step further to doing that. Looking forward to hosting more events and making your Amazon journey even more exciting.
Well, it's just the largest platform in the United States for selling retail online. So looking at some statistics, if you look back in 2019, there were 4,000 sales per minute on Amazon, which is pretty phenomenal. And if you compare Amazon to Walmart, which is the largest brick and mortar store in the United States, I just wrote down some statistics. So in just 1 month of September in 2019, there were 150.6 million users on Amazon.com as an app on their phone, whereas Walmart only had 76 million. So only about half of the users were using Walmart. And also, if you want to take a look at questioning sellers who shop online and where they put their trust, 89% of shoppers in the United States say that they would prefer to shop on Amazon versus other online e-commerce platforms.
So automation feature and our platform on SellerApp gives you control on certain rules that you can set up, or certain boundary conditions that we call it, which will then help take care of the regular day-to-day optimization activities that you do on your PPC campaign. It is a beautiful tool because it still gives you control on what needs to be optimized. It gives you control on how you want the automation to run for you, depending on what you have, depending on the agenda or the goal that has been set for a particular campaign. So it gives a lot of control at a campaign level on what needs to be done, and you don't have to necessarily run automation at an account level. And you could, you may not, but it's up to you. The whole control is given to you. You can set it up the way you want it.
So I just wanted to point out that if you're specifically selling toys and games, last year Amazon became a lot more strict on the toys and games category. And so some requirements for selling in the toys and games category on Amazon, sometimes it depends on what the age range of that product is. So if you're selling products for children 12 or younger, Amazon can be a lot more strict for what is required. But two of the basic requirements for selling in the toys and games category is that you must have a CPC, which is a Children's Product Certificate for your product. And also you must have test reports from CPSC accepted testing laboratories. And what CPSC is the Consumer Product Safety Commission. And there is a list of those laboratories on the Amazon platform where you can go in and search the name of the laboratory, and they can help you get connected with labs that Amazon does approve for the testing.
I think that it makes sense to at least do a search to make sure that if you want to trademark it in the future, you can do it. Because if you don't, then you may end up building a brand that may end up being more than just an extra revenue stream. And then in the future, if you want to trademark it or if you want to sell it, then you'll need to you'll need a trademark that can be registered. So I always say, if you're not sure, start with the search. It doesn't cost much, and then do the registration later.
So sellers get the advantage of reaching out to a much wider customer base, just sitting in the comfort of their office. They get to use the Amazon's fulfillment services to take care of the deliveries from one marketplace to other marketplaces, and you can have this simple unified advertising modules that are present within the Seller Central of Amazon to market your product, to increase your brand visibility across different regions.
So if you're wondering if you really need a global tool for your business, these are some statistics that will help you understand why SellerApp should be the tool that you should be using. So since 2017, it was Seller Prime before. So if you with us from the beginning, you know that Seller Prime turned into SellerApp. So since 2017, we have taken over 100 plus brands. We have partnered with 50 plus agencies and more than 20,000 of customers across geo. We have helped them scale their businesses, helped them in advertising, and so much more that our tool does. So we have tracked over 500 plus million top products daily. We do that on daily basis. Our Chrome extension is one of the most happening and the most used tool there out for most of the times. So 10% of the 100 sellers rely on data from SellerApp. So that's what we want to project, right? So SellerApp is all about data, and data never can go wrong. So data is very important for your business, and you should be looking for reliable data or data that you can save that Amazon does not let you save. So let's talk about your advertising data. You lose that data every 2 weeks or more than 2 weeks sometimes. So you need that data stored when you join SellerApp. We store that data for you, and you know that it is going to stay with us. You can always pull that out, and it's easier for you to figure out your trends. And if you want to indulge into day parting as well, that data is very important. So top line growth of entrepreneur accounts have been 18 to 28%, which is amazing.
So definitely, so those couple of things which we talked about, right? So where there will be definitely major focus like influencer, commerce, or probably something around the videos, right? So definitely this will bring the shift in the way people look at the product and how they perceive it. So now when you talk about the listings, the previous question, if you look at, right? So if you want to sell to a different geography where, let's say, it's not English speaking, then probably yes, your the context of the product will change, right? And you will see completely different trends there when it comes to the customer satisfaction or the type of the reviews you get or the returns of the product. Probably, let's say, if your there's a difference in the size of the clothing, and if you're selling clothing in a different geography, so you will definitely see those patterns getting changed on geography wise. But majorly, yes, the way people look at the product, they buy it, they use it, and the way they return it, right? So all of these things will change by the way e-commerce is growing and the way the people are using more into these spaces.
Germany, everyone's always surprised by this, but Germany is the second largest marketplace globally. And last year it grew over 30% in 2020. So it grew by a third. The population size you can see here is just over 80 million. And this was a snapshot, not referencing solely Amazon, but just it was looking at the percentage of population who bought something online last year. And nearly 80% of the German market, or the Germans, bought products online. And you can see here that the top 3 shopping sites, Amazon is in there. So it's Amazon first, followed by eBay, and then Otto.
When it comes to listings, this is my favorite example we did a couple of years ago. This was an espresso cup, where in the first bullet you can see it says cool, cooler, coolest. So it's like this wordplay, a little bit using metaphors. And German's first bullet says elegant and stylish. So just showing the benefits, like being very clear, very straightforward with product, showing how it solves the problems. Also, third bullet, own the enigma. Just like that old ship in a bottle your granny had, these mini glasses are sure to prove a talking point. And then German bullet says, thermal isolated glass. So no mention of your granny in your childhood, but like it won't burn your fingers because it's thermal isolated glass. Also, some of the words to avoid and to localize while doing this for the Germans is get it now. Don't push people into buying products. Don't go over the edge of like being super cute, pamper yourself. Like it's fine if you're selling kids products, but you really have to pay attention that you like don't reach over the limit. So you really have to be super careful when using words like these. Conveying the right message is definitely the most important thing, and this is what we all strive to do. And sometimes it's really difficult to convey the right message when you use like one brand to deliver it for another marketplace. And that's why you should not ever use Google Translate. Google Translate and other machine translations like DeepL are not humans, and they don't understand the message that your brand is supposed to send.
Interesting to know in Europe, and many people don't know, and I don't know if I should tell you, but the European Patent Office doesn't check if this product already existed. Although they should, they don't do that. And what happens is that a lot of products are just registered and their design patent gets registered in Europe while it already existed for years. In the US, it would never happen. In the US, examiners look at they do a search, they try to see if there's what we call a prior art, prior publication, and then they'll deny it. In Europe, everything is registered. So we had a case with a spinner where everybody was already selling the spinner for like a year, and unfortunately, it was there was one seller who got this registration and removed everybody in the market. So it's a bit ridiculous, but at least you as a patent owner, if you file it correctly, don't file it after it was published. File it before you publish your design, and you can get the protection within 3 weeks.
Well, look, in Australia, people still go to a lot of bricks and mortar. However, we have a very high uptake of e-commerce selling. However, and I'll cover this when I get to my slides a little bit later in more detail. However, Amazon is not nearly as well known in Australia yet by consumers as it is in other marketplaces. So we still have a long way to go. In Australia, consumers are very comfortable buying from branded websites, so Shopify, WooCommerce, very happy to buy from brands directly. And we have a number of different marketplaces that do very well. So I think for any brand that's coming into Australia, they really need to look at a more holistic approach rather than looking at just at Amazon. So in 2020, all of the online marketplace players, including Amazon, benefit here in Australia. We're estimating that eBay, which is by far the biggest marketplace here, estimated $6 billion in revenue, with Amazon second at 1.2. Our third largest marketplace is Catch, or they used to be called Catch of the Day. Then there's Kogan and MyDeal. So those are the biggest marketplaces available in Australia. And again, compared to other marketplaces, it's quite small. However, there's opportunities to be had. So in my experience and people that I've spoken to, what works best on Amazon Australia is for brands that have a large number of SKUs. And also as, I've written as art, but it's actually as part of a larger marketplace strategy. And also if you're a distributor and you have access to a lot of brands, so if you're doing, say, wholesale, and you're able to access a lot of brands and upload a lot of SKUs, that's a great way to make money in Australia. In Australia, you very much need to go wide rather than deep. Okay, so I hope you understand what that means. It means you want to go with a large number of SKUs with smaller number of units per SKU, rather than have a smaller number of SKUs with large number of units, which you can easily do in some of the larger marketplaces. You can make some serious money with just a handful of SKUs. In Australia, that is a lot more difficult.